One second. And most importantly, an opportunity to ask questions and engage in a lively dialogue with me, the Galactic Jedi. So, for more information regarding this event in Norco, California, go to ascended-wellness.com in order to access the event. Now, there's also a contact. The contact, if you just want to call directly, it's 951 393 2825. That is 951 393 2825. So yeah, I will be in Norco, California doing a live Q&A and of course a lecture regarding the secret government. And with no further ado, let's get right into it. So first I would like to start with what Donald Trump tweeted on his Truth Social. He said that based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world's market, I am hereby raising the tariffs charged to China by the United States of America up to 125%. This was as of last night, guys, effectively immediately. At some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Well, conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States, including the Department of Commerce, Treasury, and the USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade. Trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariff. And that these countries have not, at any strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States. This is what Donald Trump tweeted on, not tweeted, but this is what he said on Truth Social. I have authorized a 90-day pause and a sustainability lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%, also effective immediately. Okay, that's coming from Donald Trump. Furthermore, President Trump is doubling down on the global tariff war, making it clear that he won't back off until America trade deficit is addressed. So unless we solve the problem, quote Donald Trump, I am not going to make a deal. The markets are reacting fast. 500 fortunes are down, right? 22% officially entering bear market territory. Japan, Nikkei 225 futures were hailed entirely after triggering a circuit breaker, while Germany, Australia, and London's futures have all tumbled sharply. Not a single company in the world now holds a market valuation of over 3 trillion. All right, in either case, let's continue with what's going on with the tariff war, especially with China. So China's central bank has instructed major state-owned banks to cut back on US dollar purchases, signaling a shift in strategy. This move comes as the US dollar hits its strongest point against the yuan since 2007. As one of the world's largest holders of foreign reserves, China aims to reduce global demand for the dollar, hoping after nations follow suit that its diversity could go into other currencies. So China will not tolerate a sharp decline in the yuan. The real economic war is about to begin, and there is a reason why we're about to enter the biggest economic war ever. And again, this is all being orchestrated by the Global Military Earth Alliance. The Y hats are the ones behind this, okay? The U.S. Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, isn't just backing down. He says that delisting China stocks from American exchanges is firmly on the table. Such a move would trigger a wave of investor set-offs and cut Chinese firms off from U.S. capital, likely forcing many to flee to markets like Hong Kong. Well, this is coming as the economic war between the U.S. and China intensifies, with Beijing firing back by slapping a 84% tariff on American goods. Well, okay. Well, China, unfazed, says it's ready to handle any and all uncertainties in the escalating shutdown. President Trump's tariffs targeting hundreds of countries have officially taken effect. More than 5.5 trillion was added to the U.S. stock market today after Trump called for a halt on tariffs. President Trump has declared a 90-day suspension of tariffs for all countries except China, and this was done 2 days ago, right? Whose tariffs will surge up to 125%, which he announced last night. Okay. Seth Rich's lawyer has failed a motion to hold Kash Patel's FBI in contempt, accusing the agency of defying a court order to release key details about the murdered DNC staffer. I guess that is not related to the tariffs, but it needed to be known. China's central bank has directed state-owned banks to reduce their U.S. dollars acquisition to weaken, can't even say it, weaken. You know, when you make somebody weaken the dollar. There we go. And that's the whole point why this is happening, guys. They are collapsing the U.S. dollar. Okay, and Trump is in on it because they want to usher in a gold-backed standard, right? So European markets are crashing as the U.S.-China trade war intensifies. This is also happening in Europe. This is a global, international collapsing of the old economic order that was ruled by the Rothschilds. So in a way, as I will report in a little bit, Xi Jinping and Trump are actually really good friends, all right? Even though according to what we see in the media or even in the alternative media, they seem to be at odds, but technically they are working together, all right? Just like Putin and Trump are working together. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Trump, Xi Jinping, and Putin are working together for the alliance, all right? So China has filed a lawsuit against the U.S., right? This is all a circuit show, but you guys need to know, at the World Trade Organization, claiming that President Trump's latest tariffs hike violates the WTO regulations. China increases tariffs on U.S. goods from 34% to 84%, further escalating the trade war. Vietnam has sent a letter to President Trump offering to eliminate, and this happened yesterday, offering to eliminate all tariffs on U.S. imports in response to his decision to impose a 46% tariff on Vietnamese goods. President Trump signed an order revoking Chris Krebs' security clearance and has instructed the DOJ to launch an investigation into his involvement in the stolen 2020 election. Well, off the subject, but you guys needed to know, all right? This is all coming to light in support of the Brunson case. Senator Ron Johnson and Chuck Grassley sent a letter to FBI Director Kash Patel and Attorney General Pam Bondi with evidence showing that the Biden White House helped launch Jack Smith's January 6 probe into Trump. Okay, well, that needed to be known. Furthermore, Democratic strategist Lauren Young, who worked for Hillary the Witch, has urged Iran to eliminate Donald Trump. Well, okay, again, that needs to be known. Acting IRS Chief Melanie Cross to resign over agreement to share data with immigration authorities. The U.S. dollar reaches its strongest level against the Chinese yuan, since 2007. And also regarding the war against the cartel, the Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum stated that her country would oppose any U.S. military action in Mexico, emphasizing that such an intervention would not solve anything. And regarding Canada, Canada says it will keep its tariffs in place until the U.S. moves or removes its tariffs on the Canadian auto industry. Reports indicate that the White House says that Trump is set to hike tariffs on China to about 125% as effective as of last night. And I guess I've already mentioned that, but that needs to be known. Trump would be, okay. Yeah, they're trying to initiate another coup against his life. I guess, yeah, that's a different story, but they're going to fail. But even if they succeed, the real Trump isn't Giant Mountain, so they would only be taking out the double. As portrayed in The Simpsons prediction, right? Sometime in April, Trump gets assassinated. But I guess we're going to find out. But again, it's not going to be the real Trump. And to be quite frank, I don't even think they're going to be able to do that to the double, or the Trump that we see on television. The Trump administration intends to impose fines as up to $998 per day on illegal immigrants under deportation orders who refuse to leave the United States, with plans to seize their property if the fines go unpaid. The Trump administration is thinking about using the U.S. military to launch drone strikes on drug cartels in Mexico. China's Commerce Ministry declares it will fight to the end if the U.S. continues with tariffs, pledging to take all necessary measures to protect its interest. President Trump says he might keep tariffs on Israel because the U.S. already gave them billions every year. Ukraine is dispatching a delegation to Washington to negotiate a new agreement with the U.S. seeking mutual agreeable terms for both countries. Israel plans to remove all tariffs and trade barriers with the U.S. in a move Prime Minister Netanyahu, who is, by the way, Mossad, right? He's working with the cabal, says it's meant to promote free, fair trade and encourage other nations to follow suit. The European Union has retaliated against Trump's tariffs by slapping a $28 trillion worth of U.S. imports with new tariffs. The European Union Commission has reportedly put forward a plan to implement a 25% tariff on American products starting May 16. The European Commission President von der Leyen says that the European Union is prepared to enter tariff negotiations with the United States. India is in talks with the U.S. over a bilateral trade agreement and is not expected to respond immediately to President Trump's tariffs. President Trump has announced major tariffs on pharmaceutical companies in a push to bring the industry back to the U.S. He called it a major move that will force drug makers to return to America, home of the world's largest marketplace. Well, I don't know how that's going to go with RFK Jr., who's trying to collapse that industry. Trump said that the companies will leave China immediately and rush back to the United States. This is a major step in taking back control. Whistleblowers claim that geoengineering and stratospheric aerosol programs, which is what we call chemtrails, could be major drivers of atmospheric pollution and climate change, far more than the daily activities of ordinary people, according to Nicole Shanahan. Well, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s HHS is reportedly putting together a team to probe atmospheric geoengineering operations, including chemtrails, cloud seeding, and stratospheric aerosol injections, according to Nicole Shanahan. That's good, right? A lot of people are asking, when are the chemtrails going to be stopped? When are they going to be eliminated? Well, it's coming with RFK Jr. The Trump administration has fired CIA senior official Terry Adrian over her involvement in the Brandon administration's military shot mandate. Her termination is linked to her role in pressuring service members to choose between taking a shot authorized, you know that, right? C-19, only to emergency use of facing discharge. Audrin authored a directive instructing military doctors to treat the COVID-19 shots as if they were fully approved. All right, that's why they're about to be exposed regarding that crime. And then also, furthermore, Representative Anna Paulina reveals she's actually hitting a wall with the Department of Justice and the FBI over the Island files. Can't they just release those? Come on, man. Let the truth come out. It's coming, though. But again, there is a pushback by whatever, is left over of the deep state. Despite her efforts, they keep insisting that the documents are under review without offering any real updates. She says there's been little to no communication and absolutely no timeline for when the island list will be released, but it will be released. They're trying. I think that's what's going to break the iceberg. She says that she hasn't really gotten any communications from the DOJ. All right, let's continue with some of these reports. Reports now confirm that the U.S. government is actively considering targeting military strikes inside Mexico. This is the latest news, what's happening right now with the war against the cartel, to neutralize high-level cartel infrastructures. These are not rumors. They are operations being framed under a new label, narco-terrorism. A classification that changes everything. This is not about border enforcement. It's not about drug policy. This is war, and it's already in motion. The cartels are no longer seen as just organized crime. They are now being treated legally and strategically as terrorist organizations. They operate with military structure. They control territory, infrastructure, and logistics chains stretching from South America to the heart of U.S. cities. They traffic not only drugs, but weapons, humans, and influence, and they become the engine behind the fentanyl epidemic that's killing over 100,000 Americans a year. So by redefining them as narco-terrorists, the U.S. unlocks an entirely new playbook. Covert strikes, targeted drone operations, surveillance and elimination missions without needing Mexico's permission. So with President Trump back in the White House, the response doctrine is shifting rapidly. Trump has never believed in begging for approval from foreign governments when American lives are on the line. His stance on the cartels is well known. If they are slaughtering Americans with poison, they should be treated like enemies to the state. So under his leadership, there is no patience left for multilateral red tape, or diplomatic caution. What matters now is neutralizing threats at the source, even if that source is operating inside a sovereign neighbor's territory. Expect the Trump administration to act decisively. If military intelligence identifies a strike opportunity, it may not wait for approval. It may act. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has issued strong public warnings. No foreign military actions will be tolerated inside her territory, Mexico's borders, right? But here's the problem. The cartels are already operating beyond the reach of the Mexican state. So in many areas, they are the de facto government. And to be real, from a person who comes from a line where, my grandfather was a drug lord, an international drug lord, the cartels control the Mexican government, right? Just like the deep state controls the government. In a sense, it's all controlled by the people with the money. So if Mexico cannot dismantle these groups, and if they continue fueling a chemical war on the American population, the U.S. may consider Sheinbaum's warning irrelevant. So this isn't about diplomacy anymore. It's about sovereignty, not just Mexico's, but America's sovereignty. Now, let's go into the latest update regarding the the tariff wars as a white hat operation. Believe it or not, guys, this is a white hat operation. Orchestrating the tariff wars, the white hats is using a strategic movement to collapse toward a decentralization financial future, to collapse the current world economy. Okay, so in recent days, the global economic landscape has witnessed dramatic shifts, right? We've been seeing dramatic drops in the stock market, not to mention in the dollar, right? A lot of people are afraid it's just going to cause a recession, but it's not. This is all being orchestrated by the white hats, and there's a reason why. So more visible than the escalating trade and tariff conflicts between major economic powers like the US and China, right? There is a reason why all this is happening. While mainstream media and traditional analysts often interpret these tariff wars as the result of protectionist policies or geopolitical rivalry, which is what we are seeing, a growing narrative suggests something more deliberate and orchestrated, an operation carried out by a coalition of insiders known as the International Alliance Military, aka the White Hats. So, the White Hats, comprised of military intelligence, financial reformers, and key nationalist leaders, and yes, they are nationalist leaders, not to be confused with the Nazis, but these are the people that want to preserve their national sovereignty, right, against the globalist, the NWO, are working from behind the scenes to collapse the current centralized financial system. Their aim is not destruction for its own sake, but rather to dismantle a corrupt, debt-based global economic structure controlled by central banks and transnational institutions, and to replace it with a decentralized, transparent, and fair financial system known as BRICS, and, of course, the U.S. Treasury. Well, in the West, we call it Nicera, right? But globally, it's called Gesera, the rainbow currency, the current global reset, but not according to Klaus Schwab, according to the White Hats, right? There are two types of global resets that are about to take place. One of them is a centralized form using digital currency, right? CDBDC, and the other one is the GOP, the global. You guys know what I'm talking about, all right? So Trump and Xi Jinping ultimately are allies, believe it or not. Even though they appear to be enemies, they're actually allies in a global economic overhaul against the Rothschilds. So at the center of this are two of the world's powerful leaders, Donald J. Trump and Xi Jinping. Publicly, these two figures appear as adversaries, and that's what they want you guys to believe. But like I said at the beginning of the live, Xi Jinping and Trump are actually friends, and they get along. Very similar to WWF wrestling, right? You would think that these two wrestlers are fighting in a WrestleMania match and they're enemies, but at the end of the match, which is wrestling is fake, they go and have dinner as best friends, okay? So this is exactly what's taking place with Xi Jinping and Trump. Trump representing American economic nationalism against the globalist, and Xi Jinping is a steward of Chinese state capitalism. However, some people may believe that this is a carefully managed narrative meant to provide cover, and this is what's happening for a deeper coordination, okay? During Trump's presidency, he launched a series of aggressive tariffs on Chinese imports, citing unfair trade practices and intellectual property theft. While these actions were seen by many as inflammatory, others argue that they served as a dual purpose. They triggered a controlled economic shakeup, exposing the fragility of global supply chains and weakening the grip of multinational corporations aligned with globalist interest. So this is all a white hat operation, by the way. The tariff wars. Did you guys know that that was the final game card to collapse the world economy? Well, now you guys know. Xi Jinping, on the other hand, responded with tariffs of his own, but never fully severe diplomatic channels. So his role is seen as more nuanced. His role is seen more as nuanced, preserving the illusion of conflict while quietly cooperating with Western reformers to reduce China's dependency on Western financial institutions, such as the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank from Switzerland. So both Trump and Xi Jinping, despite nationalist rhetoric, have shown interest in exploring alternatives to the dollar-based global trade system. So yeah, they are definitely going to be collapsing the US dollar. So it appears like we're going to be heading into a recession, but in the way that's going to be an excuse for Trump to usher in the gold-backed standard. Okay? So it's a controlled collapse for a constructive rebirth. All right? The global economy is deeply interwoven with centralized banking institutions such as the Federal Reserve, the European central banks, and the Bank for International Settlements. These entities have long been criticized for manipulating interest rates, inflating debt, and enabling unchecked fiscal irresponsibility. The White Hat's strategy, are suggested, is to collapse the system, not chaotically, but in a phased and strategic manner, exposing corruption, cutting off illicit funding pipelines, and disrupting the mechanism of economic control. The tariff wars act as a financial stress test, pushing economies to the brink and forcing nations to reevaluate their dependencies. As global trade shows and financial instability rises, public trust in the old system deteriorates, creating a fertile ground for the introduction of a new economic paradigm, Gesera Necera. One potentially based on decentralizing technologies like blockchain, asset-backed currencies, and sovereign digital platforms like XRP and XLM. So the new financial system is about decentralization and transparency. So in the post-collapse, which is happening, right? Even Charlie Ward has been warning people that the collapsing is here. It's finally here. So in the post-collapsing vision supported by this theory, the world will transition to a decentralized financial system that empowers nations and individuals. Central banks would either be abolished or will be abolished and replaced by new currencies. And also cryptocurrencies are going to be replaced by tangible assets like gold, silver, or energy, and it's going to be serving as the foundation of a new global trade, which is really the fundamental blocks or the prerequisites of what we call a golden age, right? We're moving from a decentralization or economic decentralization paradigm into one of transparency and equality. So smart contracts and blockchain technologies could actually eliminate middlemen, reduce fraud, and ensure equitable economic participation. Importantly, this future system would be resistant to the centralized manipulation that has plagued global finance for decades. So with Trump and Xi Jinping seen as symbolic figureheads of Eastern and Western reform, their apparent cooperation from behind the scenes, just like how he's working with Putin from behind the scenes, would signify historical alliance against globalism, signaling a turning point in human economic history. So while the mainstream narrative paints the tariff wars as chaotic and damaging, a deeper interpretation suggests an orchestrated effort led by the White Hats to reset the global financial order. Through controlled economic conflict, insider cooperation, and the strategic dismantling of centralized power structures, the world may be on the brink of a new decentralized financial era. And so the alliance headed by Trump, Putin, and Xi Jinping represent more than just politics. It could signify a coordinated operation for global liberation from financial tyranny. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is that Iran is not our enemy. Iran is not our enemy. Our true enemy is Israel. All right? Is Benjamin, whatever his name is, Netanyahu. I can't even pronounce his name. All right? He's a Zionist. He's Mossad. And I just wanted to let you guys know that the international alliance is being headed by people that, or let's just say countries that seem to be at odds, like Iran and the US. They're not at odds because from behind the scene, they're working together to end the Zionist movement or the Zionist political control of Israel, led by Benjamin Netanyahu, who is a Zionist. All right? Working together with the Khazarian mafia. And, many people, after reading the JFK documents, have arrived at the conclusion that the Mossad, right, that the Mossad had a hand in the assassination or the attempted assassination of JFK. Let's be real, the real JFK survived. It was the double that they, eliminated. But the attempted assassination, yes, the Mossad was involved. The three-letter agencies were involved, right? And all the secret societies, right? The High Shriner Masons connected with the Illuminati. But guess who gave the order? Guess who controls the Zionist, the Mossad, and all the three-letter agencies that are literally all tentacles of the beast? The Jesuits. That's why it's important for those that have not read my book, The Secret Government. If you guys want to know the truth about the secret society networks and the hierarchy, how it's all set up as a chain of command, from the Black Pope and the Gray Pope, Pepe Orsini, Peter von Kolvenbach, they call him the Count. Those are the most two powerful men, or they have been for the last 50, 60 years. Peter Hans Kolvenbach and Pepe Orsini, also known as the Gray Pope, have been the most powerful man, but yes, they have been taken out thanks to the White Hats in the last few years. But before 2016, Pepe Orsini, as well as the Count Peter Hans Kolvenbach, also known as the Jesuit Supreme General, have been the ones calling the shots for the entire Illuminati pyramid structure. So the order came from them, and everybody, the Mossad, three-letter agencies, they were all in on the attempted assassination of JFK Sr. So yeah, guys, let's start seeing through the smokescreen, all right? Iran is not our enemy. So in the last week, that Trump that was talking about bombing Iran, that wasn't the real Trump. The real Trump is in Cheyenne Mountain, working with the real leader of Iran, working with Xi Jinping, working with Putin to end the control of the globalist agenda. I also wanted to give thanks to Karen Stanton for her donation, as well as Carol Valpone. I wanted to thank both of you guys for your donation. I don't have a PayPal. I don't have what is it called? I don't have, no, it's not that. It's where people charge. Like, I don't charge for subscriptions, all right? I don't charge for subscriptions. But, or a, what is it called? I forget the name. But anyways, but for those that, out of the kindness of their hearts, I do have a Zelle through my email, projectrestorationzion@gmail.com. If you Zelle me through my email, that actually helps me directly, because YouTube takes 30% of the super chats. So I wanted just to let you guys know that I do have a Zelle through my email, Project Restoration Zion, Zion, and this has nothing to do with the Zionist. Zion to me is the term used by Abraham and the Israelites, King David, which is the land of milk and honey. It stands for the free world, right? The original Zion was actually hijacked by the Cabal, but the original term means freedom. That's what Zion means to me, freedom, not Zionist, all right? Those are two different things. So Project Restoration Zion at gmail.com. For those that want to support my cause, I don't have a membership or anything where I charge monthly, but if you guys feel like, helping me out financially, every penny counts right now. I'm actually going through a lot of financial hardship at this time. I have been for the last 2 months, as to why I'm not in my apartment right now. But, luckily, I'm staying for free here at my friend's cabin, and that's been kind of helping me out financially. So, I guess we all go through these struggles, right? So I just wanted to be vulnerable about it and just let you guys know. But in either case, I'm doing all right, I'm doing all right. I'm doing my best to write another book. I'm doing my best to stay on top of things, to get you guys the most cutting edge intel information as to what's going on, always researching, always putting presentations together. And yes, guys, I do write my own presentations, so, and English wasn't my first language, all right? That's why it's hard for me to pronounce certain words. My first language was Spanish. So I didn't learn English till the age of 6 or 7 years old. And even by then, I used to have a big accent as a kid. I don't think I have an accent anymore, but it's very hard for me to pronounce some words. So I'm just, being an open book, I'm just letting you guys know as to why. There are certain words that I pronounce. Oh, somebody just sent me a beautiful donation. Thank you, Suzanne K. Shout out to Suzanne K. Thank you so much. I just received it through my Zelle, Project Restoration Zion at gmail.com. That was awesome of you, Susan. Thank you so much, Susan Kent. Susan K. Susan K. All right, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you're at in this beautiful planet we call Earth, which is planet 606, located within the 9th quadrant sector, part of the 24th system within the 84th local universe. For those that have taken our cosmic origin, you know what I'm talking about. And yes, we are part of the 9th quadrant. The 9th quadrant, our universe is so vast, everything's divided into sectors, quadrants, systems, so on and so forth. Well, for whatever reason, it's not letting me open the chat on my phone. Let me restart. Okay, let me do it this way. Oh, there we go. I opened it up. All right, so I'm going to give some shout outs to Sandra, America Sosa, Kathy M., Royce Toys, Amanda Tempori, Daryl Smith, Rebecca Bobe, I think, 1111 or 11. Who else is in the house? Heather J. Redzena, Gabby Lane is in the house, Starlight CO, Roy's Toys and Comics is in the house. Gordana, I can't pronounce her last name. Some of you guys have really complicated last names to pronounce. Jeffrey Unlimited is in the house. Edward Eddie Kazarjan is in the house. Andromeda Daisy. Johnny Perez is in the house. Thank you, Michael Olga. Thank you so much for your donation. I just got it via my Zelle. Thank you. Shout out to Michael Olga. Thank you so much, Michael. Simone S is in the house. Jeffrey One Unlimited is in the house. Nancy and all 2,000, almost 2,000 people that are in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here. All right, I am going to answer the super chat first. This is a super chat from Trinity Q. Trinity Q. Question: will we need a real ID for TSA to fly on airlines in America? No.
That's not true. May is when the real ID goes in effect. At the DMV, you would just get a real ID, but it's better if you get your normal ID. And they are going to need like a passport if they're going to be traveling domestically from May. So that's what she's asking.
Oh, that's what she's asking. I thought it was in reference to the 50 Earth, because in the 50 Earth, you won't need passports or anything. TSA is not going to be there. But yeah, in terms of the new law that just passed, my divine counterpart just answered your question, Trinity Q. Thank you so much. All right. The next question is Demi Arapov Johnson. Thank you so much for your super chat. You are very intelligent. I just thought, wow, he extraterrestrial, laughing out loud. Oh, am I an extraterrestrial? Well, you know, a lot of us are. We took the call to come into human avatar. So that's what a starseed is. A starseed, by definition, is an extraterrestrial soul that is incarnated into human body. All right. So by virtue of that, a lot of us here are extraterrestrials. Don't take it the wrong way, people. Let's see. English was your second language. I didn't know English was your second language, she says. Yes, it was my second language. Oh, thank you. Even the super chats help. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Because I still get 70% of the super chats, by the way. Thank you guys for that. So, okay, somebody's asking for the Folium link. Right now, I'm providing a direct line to get the, let's just call it the thing that clears your body from parasites, nanotech, graphene oxide, you name it. I always put the link in the description. It's a number, but I'm working on actually getting a link where you guys can go directly through the website and just order the product there. Okay, so by providing that link, you guys also get a discount on the product, all right? Especially those that got that were coerced and forced to get the, you know what I mean, right? 2019. That stuff takes everything out, like if you never got if you know what I mean. Okay, so yeah, so there we go. Sandy Kuzma, you got it. So I will provide the direct number in the description, and I will also put it in the comment and then pin it so you guys could have access to that. Just make sure you tell them that Ishmael referred you so that you guys could all get a discount. Wow, look at all these super chats. Awesome. Kyla Rosen, she says, how will people who are struggling be helped by Nasera? Very good question. Well, the whole purpose of Nasera is to bring the money back to the people, even the least among us. Even the homelessness is going to be taken care of. The homelessness is going to be rehabilitated if they had a drug issue or if they had mental illness, and they are going to be allowed, once they are mentally cured, because the advanced technologies are going to be rolled out, are going to cure everything, even mental illness, not just physical illness. And then they're going to be giving their prosperity programs to, you know, live their dream. So everyone's going to be affected positively by the new prosperity programs. Let's see. Another super chat coming from. So yes, Kayla, thank you so much. So to answer your question, everyone's going to be prospering with these new financial programs that are going to be coming. No, I don't own any currency, guys. I might just have a little bit of like, I think I only have like maybe $100 worth of gold. You know, you don't have to invest in anything. You don't have to have XRP, XLM. It's going to happen naturally, all right? These programs are designed to help everyone, whether you are investing in something or not. Everyone's going to be uplifted in this new earth reality. Oh, I do have a silver piece of silver that was given to me by one of the Galactic Jedis at one of my I guess expos that I attended or conferences. So I do have that, and that's just a gift that was given to me. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. You guys are awesome. There's so many of them are coming in. Ashley, thank you so much. Your last name is Stebby, right? Stebby. She says, thank you for sharing your light. Hugs. You are greatly appreciated, Ashley. Thank you for being here. And then I also have one from Barb Haim Dijonsen. Have the sleeping giant Nephilim in the Grand Canyon. Oh, I just got a commercial. Even I get commercials. Have the sleeping giant Nephilim in the Grand Canyon guarding huge amounts of gold been removed by the Galactics? Yes, they have. They were removed by the Galactics in 2020, I believe in 2024. And if you guys go back to watching my earliest YouTube lives from a year or two ago, I talk about how the Nephilim, the giants that were in stasis, sleeping in chambers, that were, scheduled to wake up any day now, were actually taken out by the Galactics and the super soldiers. So, yes, to answer your question, yes, the giants, the Nephilim, even the one at the Grand Canyon, right, who was hoarding all of that gold, and that gold was supposed to be given to the Anunnaki overlord Enki when he came back in 2022, right, and then he was escorted out of our solar system thanks to the Galactic Alliance. But yes, to answer your question, that giant was taken out by the Galactic Alliance and the super soldiers. So yes. Ishmael, please explain the coming starseed baby boom. This is a question from Ron. Ron, is it Safrid? All right, well, there is a belief that when we enter this new earth, right, as we go into the fifth dimensional earth, the fifth dimensional earth is going to be inhabited by advanced souls, which is what we refer to as star seeds. And again, most of the star seeds are in their adult form, right? They're in their, all the way from 30 years of age, 20, 30, 40, all the way to 80, 90, okay? The first waivers came in the late 40s. They're now in their 90s. So there's going to be a baby boom of star seeds where star seeds are going to give birth to star seeds. And they're already coming in as the crystal children. Again, star seeds that are having babies are having starseed children. But in the new world, it's going to be more prolific when it comes to that. So yes, there's going to be a boom of higher advanced souls that are going to be coming in through starseed unions.
It's the seeding of the seventh root race as well.
Yes, it is.
More hybridization, more ET genetics.
Right. It is the seeding of the seventh root race, more hybridization involving more celestial ET genetics, and less human Homo sapien or Homo erectus. So there won't be no monkey gene, no Neanderthal gene. The new starseed boom generation is going to give rise to what is known in the esoteric knowledge as the seven root race.
To bring in higher frequencies.
Right, to bring in the higher frequencies. Thank you, as a reminder. Thank you, Future Vision. Thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate that, Future Vision. Thank you, thank you. I do have another super chat from Leland Johnson. Thank you so much, Leland Johnson. Shout out to Leland. I appreciate your super chat. Greg, thank you so much for your super chat. Greg's question is, I have been hearing about Nucera since the C-19 shutdown, but it's there a date of when it will be announced? Will Trump announce it? I did read that Clinton signed it into law in 2001, who was actually forced at gunpoint because Clinton is cabal. Yes, again, this war on tariffs is designed to collapse the entire world economic system so that the Wyatt military could usher in Gesera Nucera. Okay, so now that Trump is in power, the tactics have shifted, right? The tactics have shifted.
Also, I heard that Trump has a deadline to do it before July 4th.
Oh, did you guys hear that? that Trump has a deadline to do it before the 4th of July. So what an Independence Day, right? Oh, I missed the super chat. Thank you. All right, so this is a super chat from Barb. Have the sleeping giants. No, I did address that. And yes, the sleeping giants that were the guardians of the gold and the Grand Canyon were actually taken out by the Galactic Alliance. So yeah, I did catch that. Thank you, though. Thank you, Patricia Noble. I appreciate your donation. Well, I took Folium back when I met the holistic doctor that invented it, Bobby Orwin, back in 2024, or is it 2023? And I took it for about 6 months, and boy, even just within a week of taking it, I felt great. After a month, I wanted to thank Thomas really quick. Thomas, thank you so much. I just received your Zelle through my email, projectrestorationzion@gmail.com. Thank you. Shout out to Thomas out there for that beautiful donation. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, as soon as you start taking Folium, this product, guys, you will start feeling a lot better. You'll have more energy. You'll be more focused, better cognition. Oh, thank you. Another one just came in. Loretta, thank you so much. Greg Molina and Loretta, thank you guys so much for your wonderful donations via Zelle. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. So yeah, that product works immediately. Within a week, you'll see the difference. After a month, you guys are going to be sleeping better because there won't be no more parasites in your body. It actually makes every system work better. Your digestive system, your immune system will be at full blast. You won't be able to get sick anymore. You'll be going regularly. You'll sleep better. You'll have more energy throughout the day. So once our bodies are fully detoxed from metals, from parasites, from worms, from bacteria, and your body will begin to heal itself automatically. So yeah, you'll definitely start seeing the differences right away. And again, all of this, it will ultimately help you through the transition, right? When the solar flash takes place, it'll help you acclimate to the new energies a lot easier than when your body was full of dense metals and parasites. Because sometimes the parasites within our body are they're actually literally sucking up our energy from within, all right? And many people believe that that's the way the negative ETs invade human bodies, is through parasites. They take us over from within. Justin, thank you so much for that donation. I appreciate that super chat. Shout out to Justin. Thank you, thank you. Yes, moringa leaf is also good to take, as well as cilantro, but those are natural redamines, and you have to take a lot of it. Whereas with this peel, this peel is like magnified. Oh, Edward Musik just send me a Zelle donation. Thank you so much, Edward. Shout out to Edward Musik. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, you guys could use moringa. You guys could drink cilantro juice. All that stuff helps. But the thing about it is that you guys have to take a lot of that. Whereas with this Folium PX and Folium Immuna, all you need to do is take 2 pills a day, or not even that, 1 pill a day, and it's the equivalent of drinking 8 glasses of cilantro juice a day, and 8 glasses, or taking tons of moringa a day in 1 pill. So that way you don't have to buy a lot of moringa. Wow, I just got a super chat. Wow, thank you, Gemini Moon. I appreciate that. Please explain 50% service to men. That would be hard if we're working 60 hours a week or single mother, etc., plus sleep. Okay, so let me see if I understand your question. Please explain. Now, I will address, I got a couple of super chats, or 3 super chats just came in, so I will address all 3 of them. Let me address this one first. Please explain 50% service to men. Okay, so that is according to the law of one, right, which is known as the raw material. As long as you're at least 50% or 51% service to others, you're going to be going into the positive timeline. You're going to be going to the positive timeline. Whether it's 4D Earth or 50, you're going to be going to the positive timeline. Okay? And that is a universal law. And then that would be hard if we're working 60 hours a week, plus single mother, etc., plus sleep. Well, even if you are working 60 hours a week, if your intention is good, if you are literally in the mindset of serving others, right? But the fact that you have kids, you're serving others. So by virtue of that, you're going to be going into the positive timeline. That means you're a good person, right? You have a good heart. You're working hard, right? That's the reason why you will gain access to the positive timeline, because you are already working 60 hours a week. But you have to remember, that is part of the old paradigm. The old order of slavery. That's all coming to an end. In the new world, we're only going to be working 2 hours a day, and the rest of the time, it's going to be about leisure, about expressing through our talents, about doing what we like to do best. Like, for instance, me, I like to read, I like to research, and I like to write. So imagine, but I could do it 6, 7, 8 hours a day. That's the thing. If I enjoy what I'm doing, I could do it 12 hours a day. All right, as long as you're happy with what you do. But in the new world, we're only going to be doing that for 2 hours a day, and the rest of the time, we're going to be exploring our creativity. We're going to be able to meditate. It's going to be leisure time. It's going to be fun. I did get 2 more donations via Zelle. I wanted to thank Jan M. Thank you so much. Elite Health. Thank you so much. And Edward Wusick. Thank you so much. Greg Molina, Loretta Atkix, Thomas, and Thomas. Thank you guys. Now, going back to the super chat, I do have another super chat from Indigo Star 144. What a name, Indigo Star 144. That's pretty catchy. I like it. He says, will I be able to have children in the 5D? I am 51 years old now in the 3D. Will I be young again in the 5D to have children? Yes. The beauty of ascending into the 5D Earth is that you will be able to regenerate to looking 30 again. So yes, we do still have children in 5D reality. All right. We have children all the way up into the 6D reality. After the 6D reality, we become part of a social memory complex, and it's a little different then. But yeah, to answer your question, we still have children in the 50 Earth reality, because we're still going to be male and female. All right, and then I do have another super chat from Jack. Is it Jackie Baby? Jackie Baby. Thank you so much for your super chat, Jackie Baby. She says, hi, Ishmael. Please put the email for Zelle in your description and chat. I couldn't write it fast enough. My question is, will XRP help with humanitarian work? Yes, it will, because XRP and XLM are going to be the only digital currencies that are going to be backed by gold and silver. So the answer to that is yes. Will XRP help with work? Love listening to your show. You confirm so much for me. Oh, thank you, sister. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put my email as well in the description for my Zelle, for those that couldn't catch it. Let's see, another super chat. This is from, same one, Jackie Baby. All right, I think I've answered all the super chats, so I'm going to go ahead and just take random questions from this point on. I'm just drinking cold water. Cold water, that's it, simple cold water. Yes, there will be no hunting in 5D. Oh, thank you, Deanna V. Thank you, Deanna V. Shout out to you. I just received your Zelle. Thank you, Deanna, for that. But yes, in the 5D Earth reality, there is no hunting, right? The animals are going to be sacred. Everything's going to be respected, all right? We will no longer be eating them anymore. Because, in the 5D reality, we're going to be sustained from energy, right? Like a breatharian, right? We're going to be using our light body, so we're going to be sustained by just cosmic energy. But at the same time, if you guys want to enjoy a good chocolate cake or cheesecake, you'll be able to enjoy a good chocolate cake or cheesecake, but without the fat and without the sugar. It'll be super healthy. I just got another super chat from Seattle Cat 323. Welcome, Seattle Cat 323. Ishmael, will the EBS or the medbeds come first? What do you think the medbeds will become available? P.S. Always look forward to your show. Thank you. I believe that the EBS will come before the medbeds, because once the EBS rolls out, then all the free energy technology, healing devices, everything will be followed. So yeah, the EBS will come first. Can females, this is a question from Sandra. Sandra says, can females with tubal ligation be reversed and have children again? I would say yes, because in the 50 earth, your body's going to be restored back to its original divine blueprint. So the answer to that is yes, absolutely. I just got another super chat from Natalie Bishop. Natalie Bishop. Thank you so much, Natalie Bishop. She says, we appreciate your awesome work. Wishing you health, wealth, both of you, dear friends. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much. Well, this is a question from Gladys Elaine. She says, when will we see debt relief? Hopefully soon, right? Didn't Mr. T just abolish the IRS? Oops. Oh boy. Linda F. Thank you so much. Linda F. Shout out to you. I just received your Zelle. Thank you so much. Again, my Zelle is my email, project restoration Zion, Z as in zebra, ION @gmail.com. All one word. Project restoration Zion @gmail.com. And I'll also put that in the description, as well as the direct line for that amazing thing that, again, cleanses your body from all the bad stuff, giving you optimal health. Okay, so somebody's asking what brand Folium. Folium has, I think, 4 brands. They have Folium XM, Folium Immuna for, optimal immune health. EX. Oh, PX, I'm sorry. And then there's the third one. And then there's Immuna and Relax. So those are the 3. And I think that if you guys call the number Dr. Bobry, he'll be able to instruct you as to how to take them properly for most optimal results. But yeah, just within a week, you guys will notice a difference. In a month, you guys are going to be glowing. Oh, more super chats. Okay, let's see. I guess I missed more super chats. Natalie Bishop, I just answered her super chat. She said, we appreciate your awesome work. Wishing you health, wealth, both of you, dear friends. Let me see other super chats.
Thank you.
Okay, so Seattle, I don't know if I missed it. Ishmael, will the EBS or the medbeds? Oh yeah, I've already addressed that one. Let me see other super chats. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any super chats real quick. Let's see. No, I don't see any other ones. All right. Continuing with answering random questions. All right, Big Daddy Chan is in the house. He says that I didn't reply to his super chat. Well, I'll answer your question. His question is, are the species in the encyclopedia real? Are you talking about the woolly mammoth and the saber-toothed tiger? If you're talking about all the extinct animals or species that existed a long time ago, the answer to that is yes, they were real. And believe it or not, guys, these extinct species continue to exist within the inner Earth in these other continents that are not accessible to our surface world. So these extinct species continue to exist within the inner Earth in these other land masses that are not accessible to the surface world. Dr. Christine Blake Smith, thank you so much for your super chat. That one just came in right now. Hope you're found any medbed access to the doctors. Oh, yes, Dr. Christine, I do remember you wanted to know about this last week. And the answer to that is yes. If you are a doctor, a practicing MD doctor already, then yes, you will be having access to the medbeds. When they roll those out, they're actually going to be wanting to train those that are interested in training how to properly use them. So if you are interested in learning how to use the med beds in your practice, you will have access to that training, Dr. Christine. So the answer to that is yes. And I appreciate your willingness to do so, by the way, because a lot of people are going to be needing them. And then the other part of your question is it safe to travel to Paris right now? I would say I would probably wait till after, I don't know, because we are expecting some sort of a huge CME, right, solar flare, that is supposed to be 10 times stronger than the one that took out the telegraph in 1858, I'm sorry. So I would probably, honestly, Dr. Christine, I would use your intuition, right? I would pray to God, and I would ask God to to give you that answer itself, because I can't tell you no. This is something that you're going to have to go for within yourself and ask God yourself. But we are expecting a huge solar flare sometime this month. And then the next part of your question, can you comment to home property cost in coming weeks, months? Do you or your flame do readings? No, we don't do readings. I'm not a psychic or a medium. I teach courses, but no, I don't do readings. And I really don't know anything about property cost or anything like that. I never really studied, mortgage or real estate. So to answer your question, no, we don't do readings. And yeah, I guess that's all your questions are. I do have another super chat from, let's see. Oh, not a super chat. I'm sorry. I just got another Zelle from Mika J. Thank you so much, Mika J. You are greatly appreciated. Shout out to Mika J. Thank you. And I think I've already said shout out to Michael, Midi Avila, and Linda F. Thank you so much for the super chat. For the Zelle. Thank you so much for the help. Will we be going back to the 1950s prices? This is a question from Quad Ripler. No, it's going to be much better than that. It's going to be much better than that. What about weight loss? Well, for those that are struggling with losing weight, there is a modality that's going to, again, it's a form of a med bed that's going to help you stay slim. But if you go into the fifth dimensional Earth, your body's going to automatically look very toned and defined. So if you're a man, you're going to have pecs, you're going to have six-pack abs, you're going to look muscular. If you're a female, you're going to have a petite little, toned body. So yes, that is what a fifth dimensional avatar looks like. That explains why when the extraterrestrials land or they interact with humans, they're always very fit, right? Where they wear their little spacesuits, the Pleiadians, right? Even the Arcturians, they're always very fit. They're always very fit. I just got another super chat from Green Summers. Green Summers. Thank you so much, Green Summers. She says, thank you for all that you do for us. You are very much welcome. Thank you guys. Thank you. Give you guys a namaste. Thank you. You know, it is an honor and it is a great privilege to be of service at this time. I'm just answering random questions. No, JC, I am not no Messiah. Thank you, though, for the compliment. But no, I'm no Messiah. I'm just a messenger, just like a lot of you guys are. You know, I'm here to remind you guys of your own connection to your higher self, and to remind you guys of your own multidimensionality. But each and every single one of you guys is your own Messiah. You just have to connect with your higher self to access the Christ consciousness. What do aliens in Venus eat? Very good question. This is coming from V. Well, okay, they just go by V. How do they look like? Well, the people from planet Venus that exist in fifth dimensional realities are very good looking. They look like models. The men are very tall and chiseled, and the women look like again, Victoria's Secret models. And everyone on that civilization is good looking. There is no blemishes. There is no overweight. The Venusians, I'm sorry, excuse me, are beautiful people. That's what the Venusians look like. They look like models, very chiseled. Well, that explains Commander Valiant Thor, right? He's very good looking. Many people believe he's a very handsome man. Somebody wants to know Riki Lee if, oh no, not Riki Lee. Riki Lee wants to know if V is asking because they probably had a past life in Venus. You know, one of the things that I teach about in my Our Cosmic Origin course is that we've lived in many past lives. We've been on so many planets, on so many timelines, and in so many other realities before we incarnated here during the presence. So yeah, you know, a lot of you guys probably had a lifetime in Venus. You know, wouldn't it be nice to access all those memories, guys? Well, the day is coming, right? When we activate and access all those memories. I do want to welcome all 2,100 people that are in the house. Thank you guys for spending your evening with me. Ishmael, is Canada going to have an election at the end of April? You know, this is a question from Kristen Firesign 26. From what I'm hearing is that Canada's going to be annexed to the U.S. and is probably going to become the 51st state. Am I correct? Hun?
Alberta is supposed to be the first to be annexed.
Oh, okay. Alberta is going to be the first to be annexed.
There's a rumor that a senator spread that Elon Musk might be the president of Alberta.
So there is a rumor that Elon Musk might be the president of Alberta, Canada.
There was a senator from the U.S. that spread that rumor.
I guess there was a senator from the U.S. that spread that rumor. But yeah, the goal, as revealed in my very first version of Our Cosmic Origin, is that Canada, Mexico, and Greenland are going to become the Peacock Federation.
But maybe Queen Romana is going to be more like descending in her ascending in her status.
So Queen Romana, okay,
probably of Canada. She's probably going to be later on like more of a leader there.
So according to my twin flame, she's saying that even possibly Queen Ramana could be the ultimate leader of Canada when the Peacock Federation forms. That's pretty good news. Thank you.
Yeah, she works with the NESARA funds and stuff.
Oh, she works with the NESARA funds. Okay.
Medbeds.
Makes a lot of sense.
And
Thank you.
Medbeds, too.
And Medbeds?
Yeah.
Got it. Somebody says, Queen Ramana, beautiful. Yeah, well, she is a white hat. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think she's got some like Chinese elders lineage.
They want you to type the phone number in the chat for... Here, I'll just give the number out really quick.
Gregory was saying not to use the number.
Oh, not to use the number?
Put the link in the
Oh, yeah, he wants me to use the link because he's getting a lot of calls. So, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the... the code?
Perez 25.
Oh, the code is Perez 25. So when you guys go to the website, they're going to ask for a code. Just make sure you guys put Perez 25. But I'm also going to see if I could put that link in the description after the show. Thank you for that reminder. But, the telephone number is in the description of the last show I did 2 days ago. So it's there. Somebody's saying Melania Trump will be queen of Russia.
I don't know.
This is coming from Edward. Who knows? Let me see. Is there enough light in here? There we go. I just turned up the light on here. There we go. More light. Oh, I have like a few minutes left. We have about 9 minutes left, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a few more questions. Let's see. Does Valiant Thor have a spaceship? This is a question asked from Greg. The answer to that is yes, he has his own spaceship. What did people in Venus eat? I'm sure they indulge in a lot of the, foods that we eat, but these foods are not made from animals. They're made from replicators, and they're full of nutrition. So yeah, in the fifth dimensional reality, you could still eat food, but it's food that is made from pure energy and nutrients that looks like meat, looks like, cheesecake. They look like ice cream, but it's not real ice cream. But it tastes just like ice cream. I just got a Zelle from America L. Thank you so much, Sister American L, for sending it. This is a good question from Rebecca Seaborn. She's asking, what's your best advice to get through this time? Very good question. My best advice for you guys, and this is what I tell my students in my Ascension courses, is to be in the present moment and only focus on the reality that you want to create. Because depending on your beliefs, depending on where you're vibrating, that will ultimately determine in which Earth timeline you end up in. And like I said before, there's going to be a conversion. Right now, there's many Earth realities coexisting at the same time within a spectrum of positive, negative timelines, or within a spectrum of negative timelines and positive timelines. But when the conversion takes place, everything's going to collapse into 3 timelines. And so depending on your beliefs, depending on your vibration, your frequency, your actions, your mindset, that will determine in which timeline you end up in. Very good question. But yeah, being in the present moment is everything, guys. Being in the present moment is everything.
I have seen miracles in my life from me and my wife and my family because my God, so many mountains, so many Goliaths have been brought down because I have kneeled before the King of Glory. and says, Lord, I can't do it. I don't have the power to do it. I need you to step in. I need you to step up, Lord, to the plate and move mountains in my life and bring it, because I can't do it without your help. And God, I'm telling you, God answers my prayers. He answers my prayers, saints, and I'm just encouraging you to pray to God Almighty. He's your heavenly Father. I'm encouraging you. Do not lack in this area. You will see and you will prevail. You will see the miracles. You will see the breakthroughs. You will see the move of God that needs to be moved. This was Jesus' secret weapon for his 3-year ministry. You know, and I'm encouraging the saints to go say, yes, Pastor Manny, the Lord is touching my heart right now to go and pray. And if you can, right after, if you're able to do it right after this live stream, even if it's a minute or 2 minutes, there are times I have pulled over in my car. I have pulled over on my motorcycle when I love to go riding on my motorcycle. Saints, do you understand? I do not get on that motorcycle unless I get on my knees before I'm all geared up. I get on my knees. Just like you're seeing right now, I get on my knees and I said, Lord, bring me back safe and sound in one piece. Because I know I don't trust man. I don't trust the traffic. I don't trust the people out there that they're going to see me. I want God to see me and the angels to be around me on that motorcycle, on the freeway, on those canyons. And I have been riding since I was 19 years old. And I have not been in one accident. I have been so preserved on that motorcycle. So preserved. God's presence around me. And I'm telling you, saints, I will never stop getting on my knees calling on the name of the Lord. My God, saints, I can only encourage you to do this. And is it the position? No. It's the position of my heart. Because this is the physical position on my knees. But my heart is also on my knees, saying, Lord, I cannot do this without your help. I need a miracle, Lord. I need a breakthrough, Heavenly Father. I need you to intervene in this situation. Maybe it's a legal situation. You need God to intervene. God will do it. He will not let you down. Maybe it's healing. I need some healing somewhere. God will direct your path. He'll do it. And right now I'm just pouring out. This is why, saints, that's why your prayer request means so much to us. Your prayer request means so much for us. Because, you know, we believe God for your breakthrough, your miracles. I can't tell you how he's going to do it. I can just tell you those prayer requests are looked at. Because, and we read many of them. And we go like, my God, Lord, I know you're going to intervene. And so, saints, you know, how can we express as much as we love you so much? But don't neglect prayer. It's the reason why God is so, don't neglect prayer. Even if it's in your car, you know, turn off that radio. If it's in your car, turn off that radio and just say, Lord, I'm just, I'm in traffic. I just want to just pray. So many times I'm praying in the Spirit as I'm driving. So many times. Having a great time with the Lord. Because my car is a sanctuary. My motorcycle is a sanctuary. My home is a sanctuary. Come on. What? And then when we're traveling, the plane that I'm on, The seat that I'm in with my wife, that becomes a sanctuary. Because God is downloading everywhere I'm at. I'm just going to listen to Him. So saints, I just want to encourage you. Because you're one, you're God's children. You are God's children. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you so much. We'll be back. Every one of you that says, yes, I'm partnered. Lord, touch everyone that says, yes, I'm going to partner up with Mega Praise Ministries. I want to remember those out there that have come back and fought for our country, the homeless, in the ministries business,